This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of the Greater Chattanooga region. My name is Scott Howell, of course, and I'm your host for today. And a lot of people ask me, what is the purpose of the Good Neighbor Podcast? What's it all about? Well, we just desire to bring an awareness to the residents living in our communities regarding the locally owned and or operated businesses in the greater Chattanooga area, all the way from Cleveland to Dalton and Jasper to Benton, everywhere, everybody in between. Small businesses are the backbone of our communities. Our communities weren't built on mega stores. They weren't built on, huge corporate names. They were built on the small businesses, and every local business has a story to tell, and we just want to help them shout it from the rooftops. And joining me today is our good neighbor, Dawn Thelen at Sweat Club. So, Dawn, thank you for being with us today on the Good Neighbor Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Scott. I'm excited.
Now, Dawn, did I pronounce your last name correctly? I forgot to ask you before we got started.
You absolutely did. I was wondering if that was going to happen.
All right.
Yeah, great job.
When I saw it, I thought, oops, I forgot to ask the correct pronunciation. That's one of my pet peeves is mispronouncing people's names. So, but we're glad to have you on. And, I want to find out all about Sweat Club and what it's all about, what you offer to our listeners and even to people like myself that are on their fitness journey. But before we do, I'd like to give you the opportunity to speak a moment about yourself and your family, if you'd like to.
Yeah, absolutely. So my husband and I, we moved to the Chattanooga Hixson area. It'll be 8 years this year, actually. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. My husband, he was a military brat, born and raised all over Texas, California, that sort of thing. And we actually moved here from Wisconsin.
Wow.
We lived along Lake Michigan, where we had, negative 30-degree temperatures, snow blizzards up to the roof of our house. Just it was horrible. We don't have any kids. We have a dog, and my parents retired to Florida. My husband's family still lives in Texas, and we were just like, why are we living somewhere where, our nose hairs are freezing, the air hurts to breathe? And I had lived in Arizona briefly when I was younger. Again, my husband lived, not North Carolina, New Mexico, California, New Mexico, everything. So we kind of knew about the West, and we weren't sure where we wanted to relocate to. So I had subscribed to a magazine called Outsider, and it voted Chattanooga one of the best places for active couples to move to. So we're like, okay, let's check it out. We came down here over 4th of July weekend in 2016, stayed a night over in Nashville, wasn't a huge fan of it. Arrived in Chattanooga, and literally we went on the Walnut Street walking bridge. Yep. And we're just like, this is it. Like that bridge is what sealed the deal. And we're like, well, let's take a look at a house. So we looked at one house while we were here, just for fun. Fell in love with it. Went back up north to Wisconsin, and literally within six weeks of visiting here, we had sold our house. I quit my job. My husband luckily he works from home. And we bought the house and moved up here. So
wow,
it was just it happened really fast. So
thank God for Walnut Street Bridge. I tell you what,
exactly.
Well, I tell you what, I haven't been to all the metro areas all across the country, but I can definitely understand why that Chattanooga was voted one of the best places for active couples, because there is something to do all the time around this area. If you don't like hiking, there's something else to do constantly.
Absolutely.
But if you like hiking and outdoors and nature and getting in the water and kayaking and canoeing, there's always something to do around Chattanooga. That's for sure. Cleveland, Polk County, just all over. I mean, just beautiful areas.
Yes, it's a great diverse area. We love it here.
Yeah, well, glad y'all came down to be with us. It's so funny. I have met, I think you're either the third or fourth person that I've met on the podcast that has actually moved here from Wisconsin. and
Oh,
for
wow.
that
Okay.
same reason, yeah. So it's funny, and don't worry, I don't hear a bit of accent in your voice. No, not one.
Well,
The reason
that's
I laugh, the reason I laughed so loud a while ago when you said your nose hair is freezing. I lived in Northwest Indiana, right off Lake Michigan, for a couple of years myself. And the last winter we were there, and I know this is not about business, but here I'm gonna tell it anyway. The last winter that I was there, the wind chill got down to 60 below zero for 2 days. 60 below zero. This was the wind
yep.
chill, and I never felt anything like that in my life. I
Yeah.
come from Alabama, born and raised
Yeah.
in Alabama. And I never felt nothing like that in my life. I would walk outside and either my nose hairs would freeze if I breathed through my nose, or my lungs would ache if I breathed in my mouth. I was like, I was so glad those 2 days were over. And needless to say, that was the last winter I spent up there. So
that's why I laugh so hard when people, around here, they're like, "Oh, we love snow, we love snow," and I'm just like, "Go live up north, just for a year and experience
right.
actual snow. You won't love it anymore."
Yeah, you don't see the ground up there sometimes all winter. So
Exactly.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing with us about you and your husband. What kind of dog do you have?
We rescued him 2 years ago, so he's a border collie pit bull mix, and just tons of insanity in him. He's come to be, we call him Boots the gym dog. People get very mad at the gym when I don't bring him in because they just absolutely adore him. We literally had a couple that visited the gym just to try it out one day, and they fell in love with him so much that they came in, just stopped in the next day and brought him a toy. They're like, we
Oh,
couldn't stop thinking about him, and
what about that?
he was rescued out of an abusive situation, and
Oh,
he was terrified of men. We got him from Troopers Treasures, which is an amazing organization, and he was terrified of men, and the gym, just having him around the members and everything, has just created just a
yeah,
completely different dog in him, and
that's
it's a
awesome.
blessing. Yeah,
Mine's a
he's
rescue too.
wonderful.
We call
Okay,
we call him Clyde. He's a
okay.
boxer, big old boxer, but
Uh,
yeah, he must have been in a bad situation too, because they found him living on his own. It
Aw,
just breaks your heart,
uh, yeah,
but
rescue dogs
anyway,
are the
he's with me now, so he's my buddy.
best. Yep.
Tell us all about the Sweat Club, and
Okay.
what do you have to offer? I love
Yeah,
talking about everything we've
absolutely.
been talking about, but we're only talking about business, aren't we?
Exactly. Yeah, Sweat Club, it's a women-owned business owned by myself. I have two locations, one in Red Bank, one in Hixson. It's a functional fitness gym. We have boot camp classes that we specialize in. We have CrossFit style classes, one-on-one and small group personal training. We have open gym. We have dance fitness. We have yoga. We have kids and teens strength and conditioning classes, massage therapy. We have stretch therapy, nutrition coaching, just a little bit of everything.
Wow, that is a little bit of
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
So that's kind of like going to one of them places that you just go one place and shop for everything, right? You got it
Yes,
all right
and
there.
that's exactly what I tried to do with this. It's just I kind of wanted to make the gym a one-stop shop for everybody. Try to
Yeah,
eliminate the excuses. As to why have something for everybody there. At
yeah,
the gym, because I've been in the fitness industry for a long time. I've, been to so many different gyms myself and everything. And funny story, actually, talking to when we moved here. One of the biggest things that I wanted to create when I opened the first location in Red Bank 3.5 years ago, was when we first moved here. My husband Nick and we didn't know a single person here, and as an adult, it's very hard to find friends. We don't have, there's
yeah,
not school or anything like that. So we
right.
decided to join a local gym in hopes that we would meet people, meet some friends or something. And we had been at this gym for 3 months and not a single person had talked to us. And we're just like, wow, this, this this isn't what we were looking for. And I was like, so when I opened up Sweat Club, the actual brick and mortar, I was like, I want to create this environment that's basically, and we have created this. It's a community within a community where, everybody is friends. Everybody, knows each other's names. Once somebody walks in the door, it doesn't matter if it's a coach or, a member, that person is greeted. And, I never want somebody to feel uncomfortable coming into
Yeah.
my gym. They're a person, they go by, everybody knows their name. They're not a number, because that is one of the biggest fears that people have, especially with starting off on their fitness journey. Thanks to the day and age of social media, when we have so many, posts that we see of people making fun of people in the gym or,
Oh,
recording
I know it.
people without permission and that sort of thing.
It's
And,
uncalled for.
we right off the bat, I want people to know that it doesn't matter what shape or size or age or background you are, whatever, you are welcome at our gym. And we want everybody to feel that way. And that's basically, that environment that we have created, which I'm just so, so proud of. And, my members, I tell them, make my gym your home, and
Yeah.
they do that in the way of, I have members that literally like take home towels to wash them for me. Or I'll
Oh,
have members that see, oh, the sanitizer bottles are empty. I'll go and fill them, or I'll go grab some toilet, like everybody just helps out everybody. We've had members we had a member, this is a funny story. We had a member that was actually selling a house, a couple that was looking to buy a house, and a couple that was looking to rent a house. So we were able to set up our one couple member, bought the house from our one members, and then we're able to rent their house out to the other members.
oh,
So
wow.
it's a really, really cool. I mean, I don't think you really hear that sort of thing at a lot of gyms or whatever. So
So
it's
the
a
sweat,
very, yeah,
it's the Sweat Gym Social Club, basically what you're saying, right?
exactly. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, that sounds great.
That
That
was,
sounds
and
awesome.
that was, my vision the whole time. Once I decided to open up that brick and mortar, was that I wanted to have, I don't have family myself, and I wanted to create that family within the gym. Like I said, the community within the community. And I opened up my first location in Red Bank, and I have to give them a shout out because Red Bank there's just such an awesome community. The mayor, Holly Berry, the vice mayor, the council, everybody, the minute that we opened up that gym, they welcomed us with open arms, and they helped to, create that active community with us, and that was just a huge blessing for us to have, just such a great support from the community
Yeah.
around us. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to make just a couple of comments. What is it about going in the gym and people act like they're afraid to make eye contact? I mean, I joined a gym. I ain't gonna mention no names, but it had a couple of trainers. The owner was real friendly. Now, if you go in there and he was there, he was real friendly. But had a couple of trainers. If I didn't speak to them first, they would never speak to me. And then I would go in and try to be friendly with and I didn't try to stop people during their workout. I'm just saying hi, And man, people act like I'd done something wrong or act like I was strange because I spoke to them, and it's just kind of discouraging. And one time you're talking about having these different types of gyms. This is several years back. I joined a gym. I had moved for work, and I was joined this gym, and it was a CrossFit gym. And I was told, oh, this is like a family. Everybody here helps each other, encourages each other. And so I come in, I'm a brand new member, and nobody spoke to me. There's all these people. Well, all of a sudden they said, okay, it's time to go now. So we all got out there and started exercising. And because I was new, I was back then, I was very out of shape. And plus I had a little disability. It slows me down a little bit. I was always the last one finishing each exercise. And they would just go down and sit on the bench and stare at me. Nobody ever.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, here I am, coming in and needing help because I'm brand. I'm out of shape. I ain't been exercising years, so it was terrible. So I just don't understand atmospheres like that. Why not encourage people? Why not be somebody that lifts everybody up? I'm not in competition with you. I'm in competition with myself.
Yep.
So,
well, and that's the whole point of it. Is the reason why you join a gym, especially too, is because you're in a building filled with people all working towards the same goal, which is
Yeah.
bettering their health, getting fit and everything. And it's like you would feel that, when you have a group of people working towards the same goal, that you would all want to encourage and uplift each other and stuff like that. But it reminds me of, as a child, I moved around a lot and I'd gone to a lot of different schools. And there's nothing worse than that first day of school,
Oh,
walking into
yeah.
a classroom or the lunchroom and not knowing where to sit. That's
Yeah.
kind of like that's like the feeling that I had like when you spoke about, walking
Yeah.
into the gym the first time, because you're just like, you're the new person, everybody's looking at you, and you're like, okay, who do I approach? Who do I talk to? Or,
Yeah. And,
yeah.
and if you approach the wrong one, you know it within 10 seconds. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's for sure. Well, you're talking about offering the different services that you offer, Dawn. So how does it work if someone joins the sweat club and they're more into the yoga than they are the CrossFit? Do they have to pay for each thing individually, or do they just join the gym and pay one fee? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different options. So we have membership packages. So we have our open gym membership, which is just basically you can come in, use the gym as you'd like to from open to close, and you can use both of our locations.
Okay.
One of the cool things that I do offer is, again, because like I told you, I like to take out all of the excuses from everybody. So I have an app, and on that app, I have 5 different workouts that I have created
Okay.
for people. So we have like a strength and conditioning one. We have the actual boot camp one. We have core exercises. We have athletic agility, and then we have our CrossFit style workout,
Okay.
which my coach that teaches that designs. So, I have these posted on whiteboards as well. So if somebody comes in and they don't know what to do, they can follow along with this plan. Otherwise,
Okay.
if they have their own program, they can do that as well. But I want to help them to make things as easy as possible for them.
Okay.
So there's that option. Then we have our boot camp classes. So that includes our sweat box class, which is our CrossFit style class. So our memberships, we have 3 different levels. Again, you can do either the 8 classes a month, 12 classes a month, or unlimited. Again, access to both locations, but along with that, you also get open gym access. So if you
Okay.
don't want to do boot camp that day, you can come in and work out on your own from open to close. And then for people that really don't want to have like that level of commitment, month to month commitment,
Yeah.
we also offer class packs. So you can buy, packages of 30, 60, or 90 classes that
Okay.
don't expire for a year. And then our studio classes. So we have a dance fitness class,
Okay.
and we have 2 different ones. And then we have our yoga class. Those are just studio classes. So you don't have to be a member for that. And you can just do a one-off, just buy a drop-in or a package.
Okay.
One other thing I forgot that we
Cool.
also offer, this is a newer thing.
Yeah,
We
share it
actually
with me.
have a women's self-defense class. So
Oh, wow.
we just finished our 8-week course yesterday with that. So we actually have a part-time Hamilton County sheriff that's teaching that class.
Oh,
And,
nice.
it's very, as a woman-owned business owner, it's very important to me, that, I help to create strong women, within
Yes.
our community with everything that's going on. And,
Oh, yeah.
just with
Yes.
sex
Absolutely.
trafficking and just assaults and all that sort of
Yes.
stuff. So that was a really big thing, an important thing that I wanted to, bring. And our women have been doing just an amazing job with it. So
Yeah.
again, with those types of things, you don't have to be a member of the gym. You can just, pay that drop-in fee and you can join that as well.
Don, I hope this doesn't seem out of line because I don't know anything about your goals and plans, but I hope that becomes your biggest class and you have to expand it because I
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah.
what, with all the women crimes that are going on, it just sickens me. And I'll say anything for if there's any really dumb guys out there listening and you decide you want to go join the sweat club, don't pick on the women. Okay, they know self-defense. So,
Exactly.
no, but really,
And
I really do. And I'll tell you something, Don. You probably won't find many men out there. If there are any more pro women-owned businesses than me. And the reason I say that, I was raised by a single mother, and she wasn't self-employed or anything, but I watched her struggle, and I watched her raise us. My daddy didn't leave us; he got killed. But but I've watched her struggle for 10 years, raising us alone. And I know what she went through. And so when I hear of women that are going into business for themselves and they're successful, and I'm just all about trying to promote them, all about trying to help any way I can. So I appreciate you for what you're doing in the communities. And I appreciate the other women that are participating in that and learning these skills and becoming stronger women, because I think that we need that. I think that we need that. Women need to know how to protect themselves and handle themselves if something like that does happen, because unfortunately it does happen. And it happens way too often. So I applaud you for that.
I appreciate that. And I do love that you have added that. So something we also have in common. This is kind of stemming off of what brought me into owning a gym and opening up a gym. So I was raised by a single mom. My father actually passed away when I was only 2 years old. I grew up with a very, very rough upbringing. I'm a child of a alcoholic parent, and went through a lot of child adversity, just not being raised in the best conditions, which basically caused me to have to raise myself at the age of 9, and while taking care of my mom, and that was something that, I learned at a young age, was that, again, like how to take care of myself, how to stand up for myself, how to be a strong woman. And, I never wanted to be like my mom. I saw what she did, the life that she created for us, being homeless, just everything at certain parts of my life. I did have, and I still do, my grandma. She's one of my only family members. She was my dad's mom. She's still such a huge part of my life, and she is my absolute world. And if it wasn't for her, helping the game, to be able to see me back in Illinois, back in the day, there was something called the grandparents law that was just introduced. And my grandma, my case was the first one that was ever brought to trial, where, long story short, she was able to gain visitation rights from me to see me, which was an amazing thing, because I don't even know where I'd be in life right now if it wasn't for my grandma. I mean, she's she's my hero. And she actually was the one that introduced me to sports, and sports was basically my savior, which is why I feel it's so important for children to have, that some type of athleticism or sports in their life, because of the impact that it had on mine. So I grew up playing softball and tennis. I got a fully funded scholarship for softball for pitching to go to college and everything. And if I didn't have that in my life, I don't know where I would be today, And so I take all of my life's experiences, and for a long time, I would question, like, there's a reason why I was put through everything that I did in my life and in my past, and why I survived it. And, I worked corporate America for Fortune 500 companies for 17 plus years. And I was always missing, that one thing in my life, and that was helping people. So for the first probably 10 years, when I, got recertified and everything to be a coach, I was working 80 to 90 hours a week. I was putting in 55 to 60 hours with my corporate job, coming home, training clients in person. I've trained coached over 3,000 people from across the globe, celebrity fitness people, celebrity models, Ironman athletes, all over the world, Olympic athletes, just your average Joe, you've named it, I've coached it. And that was a big thing with moving here, was because I was tired of, the corporate rigmarole. And I felt like every day I came home, I lost a little bit more of my soul. And I was like, my calling is coaching and helping people, and it's, again, like, I want to show, especially women, that you don't have to be, your past doesn't have to define you. There's so many people that will just, I grew up this way, therefore I'm going to be this person when I grow up, and I'm a huge example of that, like, you don't have to be, like I said, what your past was. And I want to show that to people, regardless, men or women, that regardless of what you went through in the past, your past does not define you. regardless of how old you are, how big you are, whatever your fitness level is or anything, you have it in you if you really, really want it to change your life and to make something better for yourself and to create that strong person and to rise above the ashes and, just to succeed in however you can do that. And that's been, just the most rewarding thing as being a gym owner is just being able to help people to, to believe in themselves and see that and see them, just completely turn their lives around and their health and, go from being pre-diabetic to, no diabetes at all, or, not being able to have children because of, PCOS or something like that, or their diet or their weight and stress, and then changing that around. And all of a sudden, they've created this healthy environment within their body and they're able to have a child. And, it's just been just such a beautiful thing to be able to witness and be a part of.
I've got tears in my eyes over here. Wow. I mean, man, there's no telling how many people needed to hear those last 2 minutes of what you just said. They needed to hear that. There's no telling how many people are going to hear this and think, wow, I mean, this is exactly, she's talking to me. And, because there's I was very blessed. I had a mother that I don't put anybody above anybody else, but if you could go to the other end of the spectrum, my mother was very much there for us and caring and encouraging, compassionate. But I was blessed in that respect, and I still have my mother today, and she's still one of my closest friends. But a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and we don't get to choose. Mm-hmm. When we're kids, we don't get to choose the atmosphere we grow up in. Kid don't have a choice. You don't get to choose what color your hair that come out of your head. We can all mm-hmm. change your color, but we don't get to choose. We're short, we're tall, but we don't get to choose. And but there comes a point in time in our life where we do make a choice. And you just expressed that better than I think I've ever heard it. And I appreciate you doing that. That was amazing. When I do these podcasts, I kind of have a script to go by. But honestly, I don't care about the script today. This has been amazing. And one of the questions I was going to ask was, have you had a hardship or life challenge that you rose above and can now say you're better or stronger for it? And I didn't even have to ask you that question. I mean, you just explained that better than I could have imagined. But, so I do want to ask one personal question, just a fun question. So you're talking about you and your husband. So when y'all are not working, what do y'all do? What do y'all like to do around the Chattanooga area for fun? What's your favorite thing to do just for fun?
Well, it's funny. It's still fitness related. I'm actually, I've been training for the Ironman that's happening this weekend. Wow. So we actually have 2 relay teams in the gym and on Sunday we're going to be out there, and we have our whole gym coming out there to cheer us on and everything. So that's what we like to do. I mean, honestly, any business owner can tell you this. I pretty much work 7 days a week. So fun is a questionable word. But we do like to go hiking. We love to kayak. We've created a family within our gym, so we have kayak, we do group kayaking, type things. We love to spend time. Yeah. We love to spend time with the dog. Yeah. So it's fun.
I'd love to get on that. Wow. I love kayaking.
Yeah. Yeah. And, some days a fun weekend, we like to joke and we call it, I'm out on parole when, I'm not at the gym. So we joke. I'm like, woohoo, it's parole day, and it was our big weekend. The other weekend was, we drove to Buc-ee's.
Which one? Which one?
The one in Georgia. So we put boots in the car and we're like, let's go to Buc-ee's.
Hey,
so that was our big weekend.
Just making memories, right? You're laughing about it. That's the thing about it. Just making memories. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well,
when you get one day off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean to interrupt. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you get one day off and you're just like, wow, I don't know what to do. It's like you see those jokes all the time. It's like, husband, what do you want for dinner? I don't care. What do you want for dinner? It's kind of like that. It's like, what do you want to do? I don't know.
I love it. I love it. You know, as someone who's lost someone very close to me before, several years ago, I lost my late wife. Yeah, I have remarried, but I lost my late wife, and when that happened, you know, it was the hardest thing ever. So all you have left is memories. So go make them while you can, even if it's Buc-ee's. You know, go make them while you can, right? You know,
Yeah, I
do what
completely agree.
do what do what
We
things are fun.
we actually lost a gym member unexpectedly last year. And it was really, really hard for the entire gym. He was a really big part of the community.
Yeah.
He owns soccer shots actually. And
Oh,
it's been to this day, it hasn't been a year yet, but we're just, it's still one of those things, and my
yeah.
husband and I, and the gym members too, because we reminisce about Mike all the time. And that was a really big eye opener, because he died unexpectedly. And it was in a sense something, I always try to find something positive out of the negative, and the positive was it reminded us all of how short life is,
Yeah.
and I grew up my whole life that way, because
Yes.
when my dad died, he was only 25 years old. And I grew up, my whole life saying, like, because he died unexpectedly as well, that you
Yeah.
never know when your last day is. You never know if you're going to wake up the
True.
next day. And with losing Mike, that was just a big eye opener and remembrance for all of us that
Yes.
you need to treat every day like it's your last one. And
I believe it.
try to find a way to make a memory every day. And that's a big thing too. Like you said, just living with those memories, but then always creating new ones,
Having those.
regardless of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's when you lose somebody, that's all you got left is memories. And so make them while you can. Absolutely.
Agree.
You know, if there was one thing that you wish our listeners knew about Don Thelen and Sweat Club, but they wouldn't know unless you told them. Well, and you'd like to shout it from the rooftops, what would that be?
Um, that's a hard one. I would say, like, one of probably with Sweat Club is I've actually had a lot of people think that Sweat Club was a women only gym because it was owned by
Oh,
a woman, so that
okay.
it was a woman only gym, which is completely far from that. We're both men and women gyms. So we've had actually some like people come to visit and say, oh, so and so told me that you're only a women only gym. And I'm like, no, we're men and women gym. So I'd say that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's a good one to tell because,
Yeah,
if that perception is out there, let's get rid of it, right? And
yeah, for
tell
sure, for
people
sure.
that men
Yeah,
or
we
women.
welcome everybody. We welcome everybody.
Do you have an age limit as far as how young somebody, an age limit as far as youth goes?
Yeah, so we start like I said, we have our kids strength and conditioning training,
Okay.
and that starts at age 7. So we have a 7 to
So,
12 and a 13
okay.
to 17 classes. Teens can work out at the age of 15 as long as they're with their parent.
Okay.
Um, And then, but I mean, like we have members of all ages. We literally
Okay.
have women in their 70s that do our boot camp class. So I always
Oh,
laugh
wow.
when people say, "Oh, I'm too old for that," and I'm like, "Come look at Yvonne over here. She's 73 years old and she's doing burpees." So all ages.
That's awesome. Well, before we go, Don, I do want to give you a moment to share any contact information, any social media, whether it's online or offline. How can people find out more about you, or how can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. So our website is www.sweatclub.fit, FIT. That literally has all the information on there. That's, once again, I don't believe in, the gyms that, oh, can I get pricing? Oh, why don't you come in and talk to me for half an hour and then I'll tell you pricing. I put it all out there. So all
Okay.
of my pricing for my memberships, what the details are, personal training sessions, all that sort of thing, our class schedule, our class descriptions, all of the information is on there on our website.
Okay.
We also are very active on social media. Like I said, we always do events all the time, members events, workshops, that sort of thing. I post that on social media. So we have our Instagram is at Sweat Club Gym, and our Facebook, I believe, is at Sweat Club Gym as well. So
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on with us today. I have thoroughly enjoyed, getting to know you and all about Sweat Club. And thank you for all your time and sharing with us today.
Thank you so much. This was really fun, Scott.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Yeah. And to all the good neighbors of the greater Chattanooga area, I always describe it as being all the way from Cleveland down to Dalton and Jasper to Benton. After meeting Dawn and learning more about the Sweat Club, I know that she hopes she'll take a moment to consider all they have to offer. Go to her website, like she was saying, and look at all the different options that you have and check it out. It just might be the thing for you. It might be the place for you, that community, that network of people there. Check it out and give it a try. And before ending this episode, I would like to thank you all, the listeners, for taking time out of your busy day to visit with us at the Good Neighbor Podcast. And always remember to support the locally owned and or operated businesses in the greater Chattanooga area. Again, from Cleveland to Dalton, from Jasper to Benton. All of you are important. All of our small businesses are important. This is Scott Howell with the Friends and Neighbors Group. Everyone go out and make this a remarkable day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcleveland.com. That's gnpcleveland.com or call 423-380-1984.